Welcome to the first ever AEW Top of the Card featuring myself, Jack Don't Care. This is a breakdown, recap, and rating of all AEW storylines. Three things to note. This is the first episode ever. We're going to start with Dynamite from 4/24. This is all work in progress, everything. And many of these storylines started a while ago, so a bunch of them are going to jump right in the middle, and I'm not going to have time to explain everything. The idea is that if you miss AEW, or even if you're watching AEW currently, you can kind of get a breakdown and history of everything that is currently going on. So let's start. First is Not Best Friends. That's the name of this story arc. It's featuring, of course, the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. So the alignment of this group is obviously face, various rankings, and there's no progress rating or result, because that all kind of goes into each individual segment. So segment 0 are basically before this Dynamite. Best Friends and OC were still faces, various rankings, and there was a little intro happened because basically Trent attacked Orange Cassidy. I rated that as 4 stars. Now let's jump to Dynamite. Tonight there was a segment at the top of the show, once again featuring Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, but now there's various alignment because Trent attacked Orange Cassidy, turning him to a heel. And they have a variety of rankings, and this is what I consider the clash. So the clash happened. I gave it 4 stars. Basically, Trent took OC and beat him up on the ramp. Said, "Hey, Chuck Taylor, who do you choose?" Chuck Taylor chooses Orange Cassidy, and now they're going to be setting up for a match next week. Then next week, I'll update this, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, 4 stars. That is pretty good. Next up is the world title storyline. What's going on? Calling it Swerve's House, of course, and it features the champion, Swerve Strickland. We have an anti-hero character, top of the card, obviously, as champion. And basically what happened before this is he was fighting Joe, the previous champion, who's also a heel, also top of the card. And this was the finale, the blow-off. This was the title match. Gave it 4 stars. Swerve won via pin and is the new champion. So jumping over to tonight versus Kyle Fletcher, who is also in kind of the heel role tonight against Swerve. He's more of like a mid-card wrestler. This was actually an eliminator match. That's like progress. There was a finale, and now we're like in an eliminator. And this probably switched to like the intro. This is like his first title defense. So he gets a little eliminator match there. And I gave this 3 stars. Pretty good. Progressed the storyline, made Swerve look good. Kyle Fletcher looked good. Overall, it was okay. Swerve won via pin. A little note here. Callis tried to give Fletcher a play to grab a table or cheat or something, but it didn't really play out. I don't really know what was up with that, but still, I thought it was a pretty good match. Next up, we have the tag team titles. What's going on with those? Of course, we have the Elite 2.0, which features the Elite and Jack Perry. They're all involved in the storyline. They're all heels. And except for Jack Perry, they're all kind of like top of the card, main eventers, title holders. So that's kind of interesting that Jack Perry's being brought into this group. And this had several segments. There's 3 segments throughout the night. So let's just go through the segments. They obviously didn't appear right after each other, but let's just finish this storyline before moving on to the next. So the opponent number 0 was Bucks versus FTR, who were the faces in this story arc. Obviously, they're top of the card, and this was the finale. Once again, it was a title match. 5 stars. Bucks won via ladder. There was also interference, specifically from Jack Perry, which was crazy and hilarious. That smile. I think that smile should be a meme. So segment number 1 tonight was the Elite and Jack Perry showing up as heels, top of the card. This is actually say various because Jack Perry is not quite top of the card. Maybe he could be, but maybe he's not there at this point. This was like an intro segment. It's kind of building things up from the beginning. Just 3 stars. Made progress. The Elite shows up with Jack Perry, and so they all show up together. So like that's interesting. Okay, so they're working together, obviously, from the previous match at the pay-per-view. Segment number 2 is they all show up into Tony Khan's office, and that leads to a face-to-face announcement. There's going to be a face-to-face between Jack Perry and Tony Khan later that night. Ended up being after the main event. So segment number 3 here is the Elite and Tony Khan. So now there's various alignments. Top of the card, I guess, Tony Khan. And I call this the Clash. So we're moving from the intro into the Clash. 5-star segment. Now that I look back at it, I actually would have given it 5 stars that night. I had no idea what I was watching. And so basically what happened is Perry and the Elite walk out of TK's office, and they of course go out to the ring. And when they get to the ring, Jack Perry just says, "Hey, I'm here. I want to be involved in what you're doing. Will you bring me back?" And of course they shake hands. He attacks Tony Khan after this hug, and once again the smile is what got me. They did it like a replay of that smile from the pay-per-view. And then even worse, the Young Bucks came out in Okada and they faked it like they were gonna attack him, and then they really did attack him. So like that was pretty funny. It was a little surprising that no one came out and helped Tony Khan. I mean, it is the Elite, so maybe that's why they do show up after the attack. And then they do the Tony Khan driver and just take out TK completely. You've never really seen him in this position. So for AEW, this is very unique. Not unique on the wrestling world, but for AEW, unique. And like I said, the reason why I bumped it to 5 stars is because they just completely leaned into the meme of the Young Bucks taking over the company. All of the chatter online, they take that and then they turn that into stories. And they've done this before, and they'll do it again tonight. And the fact that Tony Khan had the neck brace at the NFL draft was just, I'm like, okay, they kind of nailed it. Like I said, I wouldn't have given this 5 stars as I was watching. Looking back on it now, give it 5 stars. Next up was the women's division, Thunder Rosa's story arc. She has kind of been going on for a while, and she's going to get another shot, ? Like that's kind of the name of this storyline I have for her. So this features Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo. They've been kind of going at it. Kind of faces, top of the card, obviously, title picture, main events. And so what happened is last time at the pay-per-view, Rosa was fighting Storm, who's the heel in this case. And this is what I thought was the finale. But it's a title shot, but actually Storm won via pinfall. Gave that one 4 stars, but apparently it's not over. So I might have to put like a question mark here, change what that's called. So then what's going to happen? How's Thunder Rosa going to get another shot, right? That's kind of a prediction with this title. So with the segment, Rosa was talking backstage as a face, and this was a build. This was like a promo build backstage segment. And so what's going on here is Purrazzo kind of shows up, interferes, starts a little shoving match, and a fight ensues. So obviously they're going to be fighting, I believe, at Collision. And so that's going to set up the next part of the storyline, right? And I'm calling this Thunder Rosa storyline because that's what I believe it to be. And so as the storyline continues, I'll update that if necessary. We got another match here. We got the Women's World title. And it's interesting because the women's world champion wasn't involved till the end anyway. And this is a ongoing storyline called Still Timeless with Toni Storm and Mariah May. And the idea is, I believe, is like, when is Mariah May gonna turn on her? That's like the most likely situation here. Toni Storm being the heel in this case. Mariah May is pretty much face. So I'm actually gonna change this to various. Top of the card, once again I could say various because this storyline is featuring 2 women. So I gotta think of like sometimes it involves multiple people. You'll face multiple people over time, but like the main storyline will focus on the same folks repeatedly. And so this is another pay-per-view match. Storm fought Rosa, and as the face, top of the card, it was a blow-off match for her. I thought for the title, 4 stars. Once again, Storm won via pinfall. So tonight it was actually Shirakawa versus Jay, which was kind of set up in a different way. I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to put that in here, but basically face versus heel, I had to put that in here because neither of these two are actually the featured part of the story arc, but this all played into the story arc. It was a mid-card battle. It was a build match. You could say it's like a match, and I gave it 4 stars. Really good. I enjoyed it. And basically Mina won via pinfall, but then Jay attacked both Shirakawa and Mariah May after the match. So then Tony comes out for the save, but then Deeb comes out with the challenge. So we're probably going to see Deeb get a title shot, and that will be over here in the future. So we'll see. This is probably one of the more complex storylines because there's brought Shirakawa in here. Jay is now involved. At least I think it's gonna be temporary. But if like they keep both showing up, I might have to add them to being featured in the story arc, and we'll see how I can depict that in a way that makes sense. Next to the TBS title with Willow. So we have Willow and Statlander always featured in this together, generally going out to the ring together. Faces, top of the card as title holders, of course. And so once again, this is built off of the pay-per-view, Willow versus Hart. And so this is actually various here. Hart is the champion, top of the card booking, blow-off match title, 4 stars, Willow via pinfall. And of course, Mercedes shows up to spoil the fun. And so I should actually change this to Willow and Statlander and Mercedes Moné because she's also been involved, like basically from here since the beginning, right? She's been involved in that. So tonight we had a segment, Willow and Statlander come out with this party, going to celebrate the championship. And this is a build promo segment in the ring. So Mercedes interrupts once again, laps Willow, and of course that's building up to their match at Double or Nothing. So that's going to happen. And that we'll see what they do to lead up to that. Are they going to have more matches? Are they going to have more segments with Mercedes? All right, that's going to build up over here. We have the international title storyline, which I'm calling the Strong era. And so we have Roderick Strong, heel, top of the card because he's the title holder. And so there was, I don't know, the story's been going on for a while. And so I just kind of put opponent X. And basically what happened last time is Strong fought against O'Reilly, who was face. I'm going to put face here because like Strong is in the story arc. And he's more of a mid-carder though. And this was kind of the finale for their individual storyline for the title. Strong won via pinfall. So there technically be like another storyline there, but like I said, I'm kind of treating it as this, like what's going on right now. I can't go that far back with this. So I'm just going to stick to this part. This is the international title Strong era. And so that led to a casino gauntlet match tonight, which had various, and there they are. They had Jay White, Dante Martin, Penta, Kyle O'Reilly, Will Ospreay, Lance Archer, Commander, and Jay Lethal all showing up to fight. Various alignments, various rankings. And this is a build match building up to a title shot. And this is a sudden death match, the casino gauntlet match. So that was pretty interesting. They didn't say like how people were going to be it. They didn't say how long it would be till people entered. It was just chaos. So 3 stars. It was fun. And once Ospreay showed up, I was like, wait, what? Ospreay's in this? Like, he's got to win, right? So now Ospreay gets a shot at Double or Nothing. So this storyline could get a pretty low rating once it finishes. So like this rating will get updated when the storyline is over. And so if he loses and then Ospreay gets it, then there'll be a new storyline for the international title. And yeah, I don't know, transitional champion much like is interesting that he won it and then defended against O'Reilly. But like, okay, do we just give it to Ospreay? Very strange. So the next segment was the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho, once again, heel. This is another opportunity for AEW to take online chatter and turn it into a storyline. Chris Jericho, right after beating Hook, saying, "Oh, he always beats the younger guys," which is kind of funny because I always felt Chris Jericho lost too much. Like I feel like the last 4 or 5 feuds he's been in, he's just lost them. So I was kind of like, well, he doesn't seem like a very big threat to me. So I feel like he does need to get built up a little bit. And I mean, like, does Hook really need the FTW title? I don't know. Chris Jericho doesn't need it either. But my hope is that he's going to build himself up so he can lose to somebody, right? That's the idea. So at the pay-per-view, Jericho versus Hook, right? The face in this, and then maybe even like mid-card. I mean, it's just FTW title. Doesn't really do a lot of main events. And this is the finale of it, a title match. So Jericho won via pinfall. Not a very good match, 2 stars. And so tonight we had 2 segments. The first segment was with Big Bill. He came out heel. It was like a promo. This is like the intro to the Learning Tree. Right, like this is 0. This is 1. This is like the intro to the Learning Tree. And gave it 2 stars. It was kind of funny. I see, like I said, I see where they're going with the references to the online chatter. But like, is Bill just the new Hager? Like, are we just doing this again? Seems really strange. But then there's a second segment as well with Shibata, face mid-carder, and it was a backstage build. Give it 3 stars, just cute with him talking to Renee. I'm not super into the cell phone translation thing, but like I think it works for him. So he's going to challenge the FTW title, I believe, next week on Dynamite. This will build up the Learning Tree. And so we'll see what happens when Chris Jericho destroys Shibata. Kind of sad about that. But it is FTW rules. So obviously Big Bill will go in. All right, Chris Jericho is intentionally supposed to be hated here. You know, I'm the Learning Tree. I just want to help everybody. And then it's just so funny that everyone is like, no, you're not. but then like that's also the storyline now. So it's very silly. We have the downfall of the family. That's my question mark. That's what I'm calling the storyline right now. The Don Callis family. Obviously, various members, various alignments, various rankings. And so it's just been ongoing for a while. A lot of stuff has been happening. So I'm just going to jumping into the middle of it here with the segment between Ospreay and Fletcher. Build up backstage. Gave it 3 stars. I thought it progressed the story forward. Basically, what's going on is Don Callis is like, Fletcher, you lost. You didn't win the title tonight. You suck. But luckily, I still have Ospreay, who's going to get the international title shot, and Hobbs has the IWGP title shot tonight. So now I can maybe like have people to actually, do good and win matches, which seems to me like they're leaning towards that maybe Ospreay could lose the title, or maybe he wins the title and the international title, and then they kind of and then like Don Callis like is too mean to Fletcher, and then Ospreay is like, nah dude, Fletcher is my boy, and then they split off from the family. That makes the most sense to me. We'll see. So then we have the IWGP World Title in America. That's what I'm calling this storyline, with Jon Moxley, our anti-hero, top of the card. Like I said last time, Callis and Hobbs, they kind of showed up in a little promo where Don Callis said, I have owed a lot of favors. I was owed a lot of favors in New Japan, and I turned in all my chips, and now I'm getting the title shot for Hobbs. So this is going to be Moxley versus Hobbs. Hobbs, of course, is an amazing wrestler. He has some history with Jon Moxley. He went heel, hitting Moxley with a chair, which is pretty awesome, years and years ago. And so he's always puts on solid matches. I would really love to see a full match with Moxley and Hobbs, because basically what happens in this build title match is Hobbs gets injured partway through, and he kind of continued for a few minutes in a very protected manner. He's did a lot of just punching him in the head in the corner, did the Death Rider finisher, that's pretty safe. But then they just kind of ended it pretty abruptly. They showed him getting like passing out from the Bulldog. It's a very safe move, and tried to make Hobbs look a little strong in the end, but it was obvious that like he hit his knee and it just was not working, and so that kind of spoiled the match. So love Hobbs, but just a little bit of bad luck there for him. So hopefully he gets better soon. I didn't put here, I should probably put a little note as well, that actually Takeshita shows up at the end as well. He doesn't interfere with the match, but he kind of shows up and is like, I want the next title shot, which of course makes perfect sense with Takeshita fighting in Japan for so long. And that's it. The actual last segment was the Elite with TK, of course, but that was the last match of the night, the main event, you could say. And that was the first ever top of the card. And if I can do it again, I'm sure I would do it even better, but this is first try, first time, and this is a work in progress. There are many storylines started a while ago, so if you have anything you want to add or suggest, just comment, message me, let me know what you think, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and we'll see if I could bring in some special guests and see if I keep this going. I have no idea, but I love talking about AEW, and I thought this was a neat way to kind of make it more accessible for other people who want to get into all elite wrestling. Good night.